डिक्टेशन शुरू होता है अब। इंडिया इज नाउ बेटर positioned to collaborate internationally and step up climate friendly nuclear power generation than ever before, following ratification of the Convention on Supplementary Compensation CSC for nuclear damage. The CSC was adopted on 12 September 1997 together with the protocol to amend the Vienna Convention on Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage and entered into force on 15 अप्रैल 2015. It aims at increasing the amount of compensation available in the event of a nuclear incident through public funds to be made available by the contracting parties on the basis of their installed nuclear capacity and UN rate of assessment. It also aims at establishing treaty relations among states. However, suppliers' concerns on the extent of their liability in case of an accident would be finally settled once the Supreme Court gives its verdict on a challenge to India's civil nuclear liability law pending before it supplemented with cautions that should be posted on different contingencies. The fine print of the law has effectively prevented us from stepping up investment in nuclear power for over 5 years, while the Indo US nuclear deal of 2008 was indeed path breaking, ending as it did India's veritable global isolation in the domain of nuclear and more broadly a range of dual use technologies. India's subsequent nuclear liability law of two- 2010 was seen by several potential overseas suppliers as being out of sync with global norms. Our now ratifying the Convention on Supplementary Compensation, which provides clear cut norms and parameters on a nuclear operator's financial liability should provide much needed investor comfort for foreign suppliers. India did sign the convention back in 2010, but its ratification has taken longer than warranted. Fortunately, there has been progress in nuclear cooperation of late. There's now far better access to nuclear fuel from abroad, and plans to set up several new plants with suppliers from the US, Russia, and France are reportedly well advanced. We must leverage our diplomatic skills, and international goodwill to gain access to the nuclear suppliers group without further delay, with promising developments in fusion energy being part of international effort to harness nuclear energy is of vital importance. Indian equipment makers and suppliers could reap scale economies and standardize vital parts and components, which in turn would bring down costs and keep the price of nuclear power attractive. Nuclear energy has to play its role in contributing to growth without greenhouse gas emissions. The final fine print of the law has effectively prevented us from stepping up investment in nuclear power for over 5 years, while the Indo US nuclear deal of 2008 was indeed path breaking, ending as it did India's veritable global isolation in the domain of nuclear and more broadly a range of dual use technologies. Full stop.